Afternoon, everybody. It's just gone past 6 o'clock, so we'll make a start. The leader sent her apologies, so I'll be chairing the meeting. The first item on the agenda is apologies for absence. Anybody else? Thank you. Item 2 is urgent business. No urgent business. Item 3 then is declaration of interest. Anybody, anything on the agenda to declare? No, thank you. Item 4 is question time. Public question time. We haven't received anything, have we? Thank you. Item 5 then is minutes of the previous meeting, which are in pages 1 to 4. Can we approve them as a correct record? Thank you. Item 6 is the adoption of Northwest Regional Adoption Agency report. Councillor Harrison, would you like to introduce that paper, please?
Thank you, Chair. The Education and Adoption Act of 2016 required local authority services to regionalise by 2020. The aim of this is to achieve timely adoption for all children and the best possible matches for them. And 12 months ago, a formal partnership was established between 6 local authorities and 2 adoption agencies. All the involved local authorities gave approval to the bid to the DFE to establish the RA, as it's known for shorthand, and now North West Adoption on a formal basis, and was successful in gaining transformation fund of £380,000 in the autumn of 2016. There has been a bit of slippage on the date, but the agency will formally launch, with the approval of Oldham going into it from Cabinet, of course, in the autumn of 2017. So I'd ask for a Cabinet's consent on that.
Thank you. Any members would like to comment on the report? No? Are we all happy? Can we approve the recommendation that's set out in the report? Thank you. Item 7 then is the Counter Moorside selection of preferred developer for residential development. Councillor Brownridge, would you like to comment on this report?
Thank you, Chair. I think the report's pretty self-evident, but the purpose is to agree the sale of Counter for residential development. As you can see from the table at 2.6, gives an indication of the proposed makeup of properties put forward by the various interested parties, which meets our requirement of trying to improve our balance of our housing stock by providing some more larger housing. So, as I say, I think the report makes it very clear why Red Row are being recommended. So, unless anybody has any questions, I would just recommend that we agree option 1 as proposed.
Councillor Harrison.
It's just occurred to me, Chair, I'm not sure, but I live adjacent to this piece of land. I don't know whether that would count as an interest of any kind.
It's probably on the safe side for you, Chair. On the safe side, it's probably better because it could affect land values. It's probably sensible for you to declare a peculiar interest.
So, yeah, I'd like to belatedly declare an interest.
Yeah. Would you like to leave the room as well? Thank you. We'll call you back when we dealt with this item. Okay, so it's been recommended that we accept option 1 of the report. I mean, I think we know the issues in Oldham. So many of our properties are Band A, Band B, and it's really nice to see that developers coming forward with bigger properties, which will obviously help to meet the housing need of the residents living in the borough, but it actually helps us in terms of generating the right level of council tax. So thanks, Barbara, for that, and thanks to the officers for the work they've done. So can we approve the recommendation in the report, please? Everybody in agreement with that? Thank you. We can bring Jenny back. Yeah. Item 8 then is the NSL Parking Enforcement Service Contract. Councillor Hussain?
I've got nothing to add, Chair. Last week I've been to agree.
Okay. Anyone, any comment on the report as set out? Are we happy to accept the recommendation in the report? Thank you. Item 9 then is Well North Collaboration Agreement. Councillor Morris, would you like to say anything on this report?
Thank you. Well North is funded by Public Health England and is a partnership between Public Health England and Manchester University. This report is seeking authority to enter into a collaboration agreement between Oldham Council and Well North. Entering into the collaboration agreement would formalise the relationship between Oldham Council and Well North and allow the Phase 1 funding of £200,000 to be used to strengthen and support the Well North programme in Oldham. I recommend that we accept the option 1. Thank you.
Okay, thanks Eddie. Any comments on the report? Everyone happy to accept the recommendations as set out in the report? Thank you. Item 10 then is request for an exemption to contract procedure rules to award a contract to Keyring. Councillor Harrison?
Yes, thanks. Thanks, Chair. We're asking for approval tonight for exemption from the Council's normal contract procedure rules to award a contract to Keyring Living Support Networks. It is a unique service that enables people across the borough to live independently, people with additional needs and vulnerabilities to live independently and make a positive contribution to their community. So I think the uniqueness of this service, which was cited as an example of good practice in the Winterbourne View review, I think backs up the ask on this. Thank you.
Okay. Any comments? Any members want to speak on this matter? No? All right. Can we accept the recommendation in the report then? Thank you. Item 11 is the Council Income Strategy for the period 18-19 to 21-22. And that's, I'm going to speak on that. So, it's really important that we look at all aspects of the council income and expenditure, and I think it's timely that we've actually developed this. And I want to thank Anne, our finance director, and the exec director, Ray Ward, for producing this paper. I think it's really important that everyone in the organisation has a very clear view about our income and where it's generated from, what our priorities are, and what role each of the services can play in maximising the income the council has. So I'm really pleased that this has been produced. I think going forward, it's very clear from this document and elsewhere as well that we will have less and less grants from central government, and we will need to generate the income to provide the services that we need to provide for our residents here in the borough. And I think this document actually sets out how we do that. So I'm really pleased that this document has been produced. Hopefully that we'll do a regular review of this document, but I'm happy to take any question anybody's got. But I would urge every member and also all the senior directors actually to take note of this document and, as I said, really contribute to making sure that we fully maximise the income of this council. Anybody, any comments? Yes, Councillor Brownage.
The only comment, I just find it quite interesting where we're talking about obviously trying to build more properties at Band 8D and above, but then we're looking at the number of those that don't pay full council tax because they're under-occupied. And I think that just indicates that we really do need to address our housing offer across the board to provide more opportunities for people to downsize and free up these bigger houses for proper family, proper family occupation. It's a bit judgmental, isn't it? But for more full family occupation that would then bring in that level of council tax revenue that's important. So it's really important that we get our balance of accommodation across a whole range of tenures and house types right as part of the refresh of the local plan.
Yeah, I think that's really helpful. Yeah, we need to do that. But I think the point that you're referring to is the single person discount, which is a national legislation which every single council have to abide by. And I agree with that, that where there's possibility, then people should downside and free up a property. It's also cost effective to the household as well. But, we have to allow people to have their freedom of choice, and if that's what they want to do, that's fine. But I think fundamentally what we've got in Oldham, unfortunately, is a problem where we haven't got enough 4, 5, 6 bedroom properties, and that's a problem. That's a long-term problem that we've been trying to address for a very long time. And hopefully the report that you presented earlier, Barbara, goes some way to begin to tackle that problem that we've got. But yeah, your point is noted, and we are actually reviewing the single person discount on a regular basis just to make sure that people who are entitled to actually claim, and if there are any possible misuse of that, then we'll try to address that. Okay. Any other point, anybody? Happy? Sorry, Amanda.
Sorry, it's only a minor thing.
Yeah.
On page 6 at point 2.3.5, now I may have missed it, but it says collection performance for the period 2013-14 to 16-17 compared to local and national averages is shown in the table below. So it shows the AGMA average, but I can't find where the national average is.
The national average would be much higher.
But is that not detailed? Because I appreciate it's only a minor thing, but I was just looking for what the national average was out of interest, and it does say it is there. So is it just like an admin error, essentially, for that to say that?
The national average is much higher. I'm cited to it on a regular basis because I'm there, but it's not in the report, is it?
Well spotted. It should be just the AGMA and the that's an error. Okay.
Yeah.
But we can circulate that. We do have that information.
We do have that information, and that information, as I said, it would be more close to 97% as opposed to some of the figures in here. Unfortunately, most of the AGMA authorities, the council tax collection and business tax collection rates are actually very poor. Ours is about mid-table, as you can see from the figures, but some of our neighbouring authorities, the collection rate isn't great. But yeah, you're right, we should have had that, and I'm happy to circulate it. Okay. Any other comments, anybody? No? Thank you. Can we approve the recommendation on item 11? Thank you. Item 12 is the Revenue Capital Investment Programme Q1 report. So, as you know, we bring a quarterly report to tell you what's happening with our revenue and capital programme for the year. So this is the first report of the financial year 17-18, and it goes up to the period end of June 2017. In terms of revenue, what we're saying is, this is obviously very early into the financial year, but our projection is that by the end of the financial year, there will be a small surplus of 152,000. But I'm sure before then we will have many changes in this position. But we're very keen, as we've done in the past, is to make sure that the revenue budget is actually delivered in budget and there aren't any overspend. So we will be monitoring on a regular basis, and I'm sure a lot of cabinet members, they have reports in their briefing as well, just to tell them what's happening within their directorate. In terms of the capital, again, we're just giving you an update, and this is contained in Appendix B of the report. Appendix 2 of the report. I think just to look at one paragraph in particular is 3.2 on page 81. It just tells you the actual expenditure, which is quite low compared to what we've been reporting. So at the end of June, there was only £3.256 million of expenditure. So there's quite a lot of slippages we're carrying forward to future months and actually future years as well. And then on 2.5 on page 82, we're telling you about one revision that we had in the budget, and that's been commented on there. So again, I'm quite happy to take any question if anybody's got both on the revenue monitor and the capital monitor. Are we happy with that? Can we note the two reports, please? Thank you. The next item is item 13, Council Performance Report. So this is deals with the first quarter of the financial year, and again it details a number of indicators and where we are with that. Again, happy to take any questions from anybody on the report. Any question, anyone? Are we happy to note the paper? Yeah? Okay. Item 14 then is the exclusion of press and public. So if you're not part of the